Cox.
Oh, wow.
And she'd give her birth month and date, but couldn't provide the age and wouldn't provide her address.
Wow. So the lady name is Cox, and she was on the phone. She said White instead of Cox. That shit crazy. What's up, Cash Gang? It's your boy Cashout Denzel, man. Back with another video for y'all boys, man. Finna right there. NBA Youngboy facing 20 to 50 years for identity fraud, man. Let's get into the video, y'all.
Rapper is facing over 60 charges after he was arrested in Cache County.
NBA Youngboy was arrested this week at his Mill Creek home in what the Cache County Sheriff's Office is calling an ongoing investigation into criminal conduct.
We are learning new details about why young rapper NBA Youngboy was arrested in Utah yesterday.
The rapper, whose real name is Kentrell Deshaun Golden, was under house arrest as he awaited trial on federal gun charges. Several agencies, including the FBI and Secret Service, executed a search warrant yesterday morning.
September 19th, 2023. Reed's Pharmacy in Hiram, Utah, received a prescription called in for a 74-year-old woman named Bethel White. The physician who called provided the proper identification, but the number he called from wasn't from his pharmacy. A phone call to the suspected pharmacy would confirm suspicions. The pharmacist didn't have a patient named Bethel White. He never called in a prescription, and apparently someone's made several orders using his name that day.
Wow.
The prescription was for an antibiotic, as well as promethazine with codeine, a Schedule 5 controlled substance, and one of the most abused and sought-after drugs in hip-hop.
Oh, God.
The antibiotic was most likely just to make the prescription less of a red flag. Law enforcement would wait in the parking lot of Reed's Pharmacy waiting for someone to pick up the order, but nobody came. That same day, Spencer's Pharmacy in Logan, Utah, received a call from the same suspect using the same physician's information.
Right.
This time, 71-year-old Gwendolyn Cox needed promethazine with codeine.
Damn. First it was a 75, now it's a 71-year-old. They do some bad old folks.
2 weeks after the prescription was called in, a female came and picked it up, stating Gwendolyn was her grandmother. The following month, Spencer's Pharmacy received a second call requesting more lean for grandma. Spencer's obviously realized the 71-year-old didn't just drink a whole bottle of syrup in less than 3 weeks, so this time they requested a hard copy of the prescription with the patient. So the suspect on the phone hung up the call. Spencer's Pharmacy attempted to call the number back after looking up the physician's name, only to make contact with the real physician, finding out someone's been fraudulently using his credentials.
Damn.
On January 17, 2024, a fraudulent prescription was called into Larry's Pharmacy in Smithfield, Utah. It was the same deal. Another elderly woman wanted lean, and when things looked suspicious, the pharmacy called the police. An agent assigned to the Cash Rich Drug Task Force would conduct the initial investigation. Obvious similarities between the reports from the different pharmacies would lead officers to devise a plan.
Right.
Contact would be made, and 2 females would arrive at Larry's Pharmacy to pick up the prescription. They'd be detained, and officers would smell a strong odor of marijuana coming from the Chevy Tahoe they drove in.
Right.
With the females consenting to a search, marijuana flakes would be found around the interior, along with an empty handgun case for a .45 caliber 1911. They'd claim the marijuana wasn't theirs, and they were picking up a prescription for a friend that they refused to name. The 2 women would...
So the marijuana is not y'all own, and I know for sure the car gotta be Youngboy car. So y'all basically saying that whatever in the car is his. Y'all get
to be arrested for their role in the prescription fraud ring, and officers would discover the Chevy Tahoe they were riding in was registered out of Texas under a 24-year-old man named Kentrell Golden.
That's what I just said.
Kentrell will be more commonly known as rap superstar NBA Youngboy.
Right.
One of the task force agents would be contacted by dispatch and informed that none other than Gwendolyn Cox needed to speak with him.
If you really want to be a CEO, want to be an entrepreneur, you should take the first step. Create the LLC. It doesn't really cost that much to create it.
During the conversation, she'd state her last name was White instead of Cox, and she'd give her birth month and date, but couldn't White needed to speak with him. During the conversation, she'd state her last name was White instead of Cox, and she'd give her birth month and date, but couldn't provide the age and wouldn't provide her address.
Wow, so the lady name is Cox, and she was on the phone. She said White instead of Cox. That shit crazy. So y'all doing this shit, and y'all not even doing it properly. Y'all niggas just doing stupid shit.
It was very clear to the agent that Gwendolyn was using a fake voice, as this old woman sounded like a much younger male from the South. She, or he, made a statement saying, "Well, I asked her to, and she said that she'll have you call me." The terminology ax instead of ask was a dead giveaway and consistent with a southern dialect from states like Texas, Georgia, and Louisiana. The following day, a person...
That's what I'm saying, though. Like how the pharmacy even believe that this was actually people for real? Like these niggas accent heavy as hell. That Louisiana accent is crazy, bro. Like, how y'all even believe that? I think in my heart, bro, that the pharmacy had somebody in the pharmacy was probably getting paid off or something, bro. Somebody has to be getting paid off or some shit. I might be wrong.
Self-identified as NBA Youngboy's business manager, attempted to contact the drug task force in an effort to get the Chevy Tahoe out of the impound. During this time, the impound company suspected the vehicle may be stolen after speaking with the so-called manager. So the task force officer requested to speak directly with Youngboy. On a conference call being recorded by dispatch, Youngboy told the task force agent the females arrested at the pharmacy were family. The agent would ask about his relations to the female and if they had his permission to drive his vehicle, to which Youngboy said they did have his permission, and he asked for his vehicle back. The agent would tell Youngboy how to get his vehicle back, and the conversation would continue when Youngboy said, "Ask him about the prescription that they picked up." He paused for a few seconds before saying,
"Bro, the agent's on the phone and you ask him about a prescription, bro. But no way, Youngboy, you out."
"She on the fucking hospital bed. She on the hospital bed." The agent was aware Youngboy was speaking to someone else who claimed to be Youngboy's brother. The call would break up and go silent for durations of time, leading the agent to believe they were viewing the call. Because Youngboy was speaking about prescriptions without being asked, showed he had knowledge of the fraudulent prescription the females attempted to pick up. It would also prove intent, as Youngboy attempted to further the prescription fraud by stating, "She's on a hospital bed," referring to the fake patient. Youngboy would also slip up.
He's acting like he's a doctor, saying that patient is on the hospital bed right now. She need a prescription. Nah, them niggas, y'all wild, bro. Bro, all of this for drugs, bro. It was never that serious, bro. The fuck?
Instead of ask. The same way the fake patient Gwendolyn did on the phone. And at this point, it would appear obvious NBA Youngboy was pretending to be a 71-year-old woman in an attempt to get lean. The drug task force would speak with the physician whose name was being fraudulently used, and a report for how many prescriptions were successfully picked up would be made. Ann White, Beatrice White, Caroline White, Gwendolyn White, Alice White, Francine White, Francine Taylor, and Gwendolyn Cox were all fake elderly women whose names were used to pick up different amounts of codeine, sometimes repeatedly. Surprisingly, NBA Youngboy's own name, Cantrell Golden, will be used with a birth year of 1953 to pick up a 7-day supply.
Bro, ain't no way you use your name, brother. Ain't no way. Yo, Youngboy, bro, what's up with you, bro? What's up with you, bro? Ain't no way you use your name with a year of 1953. And you thought you was going to get away with that, bro. You had to be high when you was doing that, bro. You had to be high, bro.
A juvenile would be apprehended at the pharmacy after attempting to pick it up. Additional calls were made using Youngboy's real name and real birth date by someone in Houston, Texas. It was discovered the same white Tahoe registered in Texas that the females were arrested in could be seen in one of Youngboy's music videos. Further investigation into Youngboy was conducted after he was identified as the primary suspect. Rising from the trenches of Baton Rouge, Youngboy is documented to have lived in Louisiana, Texas, Georgia, California, and Utah. He's also currently on federal pretrial probation as he awaits trial for a federal gun charge for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. The rap star's criminal history is not only extensive, but violent. Back in 2016, Youngboy was arrested on 2 charges of murder in Louisiana as a juvenile. The charges were eventually reduced, and Youngboy would be convicted of aggravated assault with a firearm, while his second charge of attempted murder was dropped entirely. This conviction alone would make him a convicted felon. In 2018, he'd be arrested for aggravated assault and kidnapping, with the kidnapping later being dismissed. Youngboy would plead guilty to a lesser charge of simple battery, resulting in a misdemeanor conviction and 12 months of probation. In 2019, Youngboy would be arrested for marijuana in Georgia, and in 2020, he'd be arrested in Louisiana for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, distribution of marijuana, possession of a controlled substance, illegally carrying a weapon, illegal possession of a stolen firearm, and possession of a controlled substance. In 2021, the feds would indict Youngboy for his Louisiana gun charge, and 3 years later, he'd still be on pretrial release. Youngboy has been identified by the FBI as the leader of the NBA street gang. The gang itself is a group of Youngboy's associates that have been classified as a gang because of their structure, affiliation, and violent behavior. Youngboy's music is heavily influenced by that behavior, as he is consistently rapping about shooting and killing people, using drugs, and having a strong dislike for law enforcement. The rap star currently resides in Huntsville, Utah, within a multi-million-dollar mansion he's named Gravedigger Mountain. With an ankle monitor, Youngboy needs approval to leave his home for any reason, to the point that it doesn't even matter if it's a doctor's appointment.
That's crazy though, bro. That's crazy. Them boys treat you like you a dog. Matter of fact, dogs get treated better than that, my nigga. God damn it. Okay.
Guests that enter Gravedigger Mountain also have to be approved by his federal probation before entering the property. The same suspects that would be caught up attempting to pick up fraudulent prescriptions were all on Youngboy's visiting list. On April 16th, 2024, a search warrant was executed on Gravedigger Mountain. Everyone within the mansion was detained, including Youngboy, and after being read his rights, he agreed to an interview. Youngboy was asked about the presence of firearms inside of the home. He said a gun belonging to his wife was inside, and Youngboy was asked if he ever handled the gun or if his DNA would be found on the gun. He denied that his DNA would be found, but stated 2 days earlier he had picked the gun up and moved it from an open area, placing it inside of a drawer. He'd claimed that was the only time he touched the gun, further stating his wife always has the gun within reach throughout the house. Youngboy was asked about prescription drugs in his house, and he'd state he has a prescription for promethazine. He provided the doctor's name who prescribed it and said he was local. When asked if he had any doctors in Texas, he'd say no, and continued to deny having been prescribed drugs from any other doctor. When asked about his associates picking up fraudulent prescriptions, he claimed to have no knowledge of their activities. He confirmed his association with 3 of them, and when confronted about the call with the agent, he stated he didn't remember, making suggestions the agent likely spoke with his dad. But the agent would note Youngboy has a very distinct voice, and that it was in fact him on the call, as the agent later spoke with Youngboy's dad and could tell it wasn't him. Youngboy was interviewed further, but continued to be deceptive and deny knowledge of anything illegal. During the search, law enforcement found a prescription bottle inside Youngboy's bathroom within the master bedroom. The bottle was prescribed to Caroline White, one of the fraudulent names. An antibiotic...
Bro, are you saying all of that, and then they go to your crib, and then they're finding the same prescription that has the fraudulent names, bro? That don't make no sense, bro, Youngboy, bro. And like, you doing all this shit, than capping. And then you got the evidence in your crib, bro. Like, what the fuck is that?
Be found within Youngboy's name, but with the birth date from 1955. And another bottle of promethazine would be found without a label.
At least take the label off, my boy. At least take the label off. Rip the label up and throw it in the garbage. You don't give a fuck, don't you? Niggas say fuck it. Fuck it. Take the leaf, man, this man crazy.
Youngboy admitted to possessing would be found within the master bedroom closet with an empty magazine and 1 round loaded in the chamber. 3 more bottles of promethazine would be found inside of the home, and all electronics was seized. NBA Youngboy would be placed under arrest and charged with possession of a weapon by a restricted person, pattern on unlawful activity, 20 counts of identity fraud, 20 counts of procuring or attempting to procure a drug prescription, 20 counts of forgery, and possession of a controlled substance being marijuana or spice. Now, while it sounds like Youngboy clearly has a drug problem and was using his team to obtain them, how serious are his actual charges? For possessing the weapon and the pattern of unlawful activity, he faces up to 15 years each. Both fraud and forgery carry up to 5 years in prison, while trying to get a prescription carries up to
35 years.
Because he faces 62 charges, NBA Youngboy is facing, at maximum, a total of 250 years.
Damn.
But it's highly unlikely he'd receive that sentence, as that's the max punishment on every count. What is likely to happen is the feds will indict Youngboy again for being a felon in possession of a firearm the same way they did after his arrest in Louisiana. If this happens, we can expect his pretrial release to be gone and Youngboy to be kept in a federal facility until both federal cases come to an end. The fact that he admitted he moved the gun is an admission of guilt, which his lawyer will have to fight to get that statement thrown out. On top of that, the gun was found loaded in his bedroom closet, meaning while he may not have physically possessed it, even though he said he did, he could still be charged with constructive possession for the simple fact that he had access to it. Obviously, being placed on house arrest for years is damaging to one's mental health, and a drug addiction can blur one's mind. But we'll just have to wait and see if Youngboy's legal team is able to find sympathy while prosecutors seek punishment and a judge weighs out justice.
Facts, man. But I ain't gonna lie, bro. My son literally just got bond, I think today. Nigga had like court today. Probably when I drop that video, it might be another day. But yeah, my son had court today. What's today? Oh yeah, May 9th. Today, May 9th. So when I might drop this video a different day, so don't get on my ass, remember? But yeah, my son had court today. He have like $100,000 bond or some shit like that. Yeah, but let me know how y'all boys feel about this video in the comment section. Hit that subscribe button, follow my Instagram, we're on the road to 500 subs. The grind ain't stop, never gonna stop, man. I'm out of here.